Pleasant morning again, everyone. I'm Ana Katrina Marshall from the Faculty of Education. I'll be your host for this simple but meaningful activity to launch our faculty's flagship program starting this year, hopefully until 2026 or longer. Apart, of course, from the routine program improvements and operations of our unit. Maraming salamat sa mga nakadalo dito sa UPOU HQ, and we welcome those joining us virtually through our official UPOU networks and UPOU Fed's Facebook pages. As we all know, the main clause of UPOU's mission statement aims to provide Filipinos everywhere wider access to quality higher education. In the past 3 decades, or almost, we have always strived to meet this mission while remaining true to the other qualifiers concerned with meeting the highest standards of academic excellence, guaranteed academic freedom, and pushing for social responsibility and nationalistic commitment. This morning is another opportunity to share with you how we contribute in fulfilling this mission. To formally begin, let me call Dr. Charisse Reyes, the Dean of the Faculty of Education and the brains of the flagship program, for her welcome remarks and to introduce our guest of honor.
Ay, maraming salamat, Kichi, at magandang umaga sa lahat. Welcome to the launching, simple yet meaningful launching ceremony of the Pagtulay program. We actually envisioned the program for quite some time, and we thought of what would be that program that would identify FED to the community. So, nung una, hindi madali mag-isip kasi parang every educational institution would aim for fourth industrial revolution or technology in education or transformative education, and we wanted to have something more defined for the Faculty of Education as we had been formed and as we have evolved in UPOU. So we have thought of the Pagtulay program, and it's a huge flagship program, very ambitious, I can say. Someone who have thought of ano ba yung what could be that particular mission that FED would like to fulfill within the next 2 years or hopefully up to a longer time. For this morning, this particular ceremony wouldn't be possible without the help of my colleagues. If it were just me, it will just be a simple hi and hello. We're launching the program and then that's it. Pero my colleagues at the Faculty of Education have actually worked very hard to stream this conversation so that more Filipinos would be aware of what we do. That is primarily because we wanted to have more people on board. It's not because we wanted people to know na we are doing this, but actually wanted people to know so that they could help us achieve the mission of this program. We won't be able to do this on our own, and I admit that despite the effort, talents, and the commitment that we have within the faculty, we are not able to do this without the help of our community. So I'd like to first thank the Faculty of Education, my faculty members, my colleagues at the Faculty of Education Dean's Office, and of course the Educational Media Productions, who's helping us a great deal to making this project or program be known to many of our fellow Filipinos. With that, I am very thankful also for our guest of honor today, who is no less than the Chancellor of UPOU, Professor Melinda D.P. Bandalaria. When we requested her to grace this event, I said like, Ma'am, this may seem like we're heading towards the tail end of your 9-year term, but I wasn't looking at the tail end. I was actually looking at the past 8 years behind us. The past 8 years that were given to us, to the Faculty of Education, to have a room to think and reflect up to the point that we get to this particular mission and articulate that mission and vision. I was reflecting on how I, as a not so young assistant professor 11 years ago, so basically Chancellor's term has been more than 8 years. I was here almost 11 years, therefore halos majority nung term ko sa OU, yung tenure ko sa OU, she was my chancellor. So I'd like to give that to her because she gave us the room and the liberty to translate the university's vision into my own interpretation of our programs. She gave us the breathing space to be more creative in responding to societal needs. And I would like to give that to her, that she gave us that space and she gave us the opportunity to chase our dreams for our unit. Mahalaga kasi yun for any leader that you are giving and you are articulating that support for whatever you would like to contribute in the growth of the institution. This flagship program, we are hoping that it serve as a culmination of all the inspiration she instilled in us in FED for the past 8 years. It may have taken me a while to get where I am right now. Mahabang panahon, mahabang formation, maraming evolutions yung nangyari. But her vision for the last 8 years or so have actually contributed to the slow building up of the mission for Pagtulay. The past years of FED had not been that productive without the support of the Chancellor in the last 8 years. Sayang nga lang kung meron lang extension, ma'am. Kung allowed yung further, sana makita mo as a leader of UPOU the products that will yield out of this program. And definitely whatever successes we gain in the next years to come, we will definitely think of you as a major contributor to those successes. So, aalalahanin ka namin every time. Hindi ito pagpapaalam, kundi pagsasabi. Hindi po, ito ay pagsasabi na kung ano man yung maging success ng program na to in the next few years, you were there at the beginning of it, at the culmination of it, and at the end of it. Maraming salamat, Chancellor, for that. And with that, we'd like to call in the Chancellor for some words to give, especially to our new members who were not here in the last 8 years, but who will gain from all of those learnings we had in the past. Maraming pong salamat.
Maraming salamat siya at magandang umaga sa ating lahat. Ngayon pa man, congratulations na. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen how things were planned, paano inisip, paano siya, hindi yung the building of ideas. Yun. From nothing, shall we say, siguro may mga anong ganyan, pero yung kung paano siya naging ganito, paano siya naging pagtulay. I've seen the process. I've seen it doon sa mga conversations namin ni Dincha from the time that she was, actually hindi pa nga Dincha, from the time that you were appointed as Dean When she was still studying doon sa kanyang PhD, every now and then, mag-i-email yan. I mean, pwede naman siya hindi mag-email, kasi nga naka-leave siya, no? But every now and then, she would email us, ako, si BC Prime, si Doc Baggy, and she would update us on the things that she was doing while studying. Ma'am, nag-attend ako ng conference. I'm happy to say I was able to contribute. Yung mga ganun ba? And then, when she was finally confirmed as Dean of Faculty of Ed, she sought audience with me and asked me, parang, ano po ba ang pwede kong gawin? Parang gano'n, anong project ang pwede kong gawin? Something like that will be supported by the university. Ang sabi ko sa kanya, I will not tell you a specific project. You'll just have to be reminded, ano ba yung mandate ng UPOU, and you will be supported. As long as your project is aligned with the mandate of the university, rest assured that you will be supported by the university. So yun na sinabi ko sa kanya. But also take note that I want you to have a unique legacy as Dean of Faculty of Education. So mag-isip ka. Challenge ko siya. Mag-isip ka. Ano yun? So yun. So eto na tayo. Pagtulay. Okay. The term pagtulay also reminds me of what the former UPOU Chancellor, the late Professor Lex Librero, said at the time that when he was also the Chancellor of UPOU. Sabi niya, let's not build walls. Let's build bridges. At the time when our concept of quality education was putting in place strict admission requirements. Ganun yung framework namin nung araw eh. Pagka mahigpit ka sa admission mo, quality education ka, hindi pala. As we continue to reflect on what exactly is quality education, especially in the context of UPOU, doon namin naintindihan, oo nga pala, may ibang pamamaraan to ensure that what we are delivering is quality education. So laging bumabalik sa akin yung, kasi noon ang lagi naming pinopropose, kailangan ng admission requirements natin ganito, let's make sure na lahat ng magagaling makukuha natin. And then we go back to our mandate, and hindi pala yun yung mandate natin. Okay? So again, let's build bridges, not walls. Ito yon. Ito yon. Exactly. Nung makita ko yon when Dincha said, pagtulay, sabi ko, oo nga naman, pagtulay. Also, the Professor Emeritus Alexander Flor, sa kanya naman, bridges and pathways. Hindi lang isang tulay, hindi lang isang daan. Maari tayong mag-isip ng iba't ibang korte, paraan ng tulay at daan upang maibigay natin yung edukasyon doon sa sinasabi natin na marginalized sectors. Kasi yun yung mandato natin bilang UPOU. So, again, kaya ako natutuwa dito, when we say pagtulay, we are thinking of two things. One, hindi nakalagay dito yung inyong logo eh. One is the tulay. Okay? Meaning to say, ginawa na natin yung tulay. We have put in place the bridge. And then, ayun, yung tao natutulay. Meaning to say, we were able to connect what essentially were two ends na hindi naman nandun sila, the same plane, pero hindi nag-uusap, hindi nagko-connect kasi kulang ng tulay. At kung meron mang tulay, walang tao na tumatawid. Okay? But this initiative made that possible. Yung paglalagay ng tulay at yung tao na tatawid doon sa tulay. Very, very important. And I would like to really imagine, yesterday during our CAC meeting, Dincha mentioned that, I know two components of the Pagtulay project or the Pagtulay initiative, and there are 3 more, which I hope will be launched also today. We were at the BJMP. I know of the IP. I'm excited to know the 3 other components of the Pagtulay initiative. Doon pa lang sa dalawa na yon, I can see the difference now. Na ano ba yung kaibahan ng articulation ng ODEL, the way we articulated it, the way I articulated it, and the way Dincha and the whole Fed team is articulating it now. Kaya nga when I was thinking of what message to give, ang nilagay kong title, it's an articulation of ODEL. It's a re-articulation of my own vision. Because Dincha is now re-articulating what I thought ODEL should be at the start of even before, when I was Dean of the Faculty of Information and Communication Studies, I have my own articulation of ODEL. I articulated it further when I became Chancellor, and now Dincha is re-articulating my articulation of ODEL. And I'm happy to know that. So kanina, sinabi ni Dincha that the things that she mentioned when she sent the invitation to me to be here. Actually, this is sa akin ay medyo iba, no? Kasi minsan ang ginagawa ko na lang sa OU, opening remarks, alam niyo yun, whatever. Pero ngayon lang ako guest of honor. Oo, ang saya ko. Uy, guest of honor ako. kahapon ko lang na-realize na ay guest of honor pala ako. Akala ko welcome message ulit ako. Pero, but still, ang katwiran ko kasi, whether it's just an opening message or a keynote or whatever, those things, lahat ng yon ay opportunity for me to say what I want to say. Kaya minsan, pati yung opening message ko, nagmumukhang keynote. no? Oo. Because of that, because it is an opportunity to say what you have in mind. Okay, so sabi ni Dincha, this is something, it may be the tail end of my term as the UPOU Chancellor. Ninth year na po, so talagang hindi na pwedeng ma-extend, oo. But I'm happy to see that kahit matatapos na yung term ko, nakita ko to. Nakita ko yung simula. Nakita ko yung proseso kung paano inisip at nakita ko yung pagsisimula. And even with that, just that, I am happy already to see yung pagdi-develop nito. And of course, I will be happier to see yung magiging result nito. I mean, everyone is excited. Sorry din siya, kinukwento ko na kasi ito sa mga officials ng UP system. Kinukwento ko na kasi sabi ko, alam niyo po, because remember, ODEL is a flagship program of UP, of President Jimenez. That's flagship program number 4. Sabi ko sa kanya and other officials of the UP system, sabi ko, alam niyo po, iba-iba po ang concretization namin ng ODEL. So, we are doing the UP Venta, right? But Fed is doing it in another way, and that is exactly the Pagtulay. Because the marginalized communities, the marginalized sectors are those sectors that this project is trying to reach. So, kung pagsasama-samahin natin, yung ginagawa natin, ang laki ng impact natin. 'Di ba? So, tingnan ninyo yung iba-ibang initiatives ng mga bawat faculty, ng mga colleagues natin. Makikita natin, pag nagawa natin ito, we will really have that impact. ODEL, creating that impact through ODEL as our platform. And I am happy to note that. So, ang sagot ko sa kanya actually that time, sabi ko, when I started my term as chancellor, ako po kasi ay agriculture ang aking background. Plant breeding, opo. So sabi ko, at the time when I started my term, ang nasa isip ko is the rhizome. Yung rhizome, sino ditong may So meron ka ditong parent plant and then mag-i-sprout siya, oo. Sunod-sunod yon, ganyan. So kahit putulin mo yon, mabubuhay. Mabubuhay yung sumunod sa kanya. Kahit paputulin mo siya dun from the parent plant. So ganyan-ganyan. But then I realized, actually I discussed this with BC Prime. Sabi ko, what I really want to happen is like a rhizome. Meron tayong ganito, tapos i-replicate, hanggang sa dumami ng dumami, and then they can be independent. Diba? Pero then I realized, sabi ko, ang rhizome pala, exact replica lang. Oo. So ito yung parent mo. So yung tutubo pa ng mga kasunod ay katulad lang ng parent plant. And I don't want that. Ayoko yung mga susunod ay katulad lang nung nasa isip ko. Diba? It's just replicating what I have in mind, what I'm doing. I don't want that. And this is exactly what I hope to see. This, again, I want to call the hybrid vigor. So lumalabas na yung pagiging plant breeding ko, The hybrid vigor, meaning to say, the offspring is better than better than any of the parent. So, better than me. So, isipin mo na, kami yung parent ni Dincha. Kami yung parents nitong Pagtulay, Mas better siya than my articulation, and better siya than Dincha's articulation. We combined the best characteristics of my articulation, her articulation, and we have the Pagtulay. So yun yung nakikita natin. The hybrid vigor is what we are seeing here in the Pagtulay program. What I also want, the difference naman with the hybrid vigor is that you cannot produce the same quality of offspring from that. Oo. So iibahin na natin yon. Hindi na siya hybrid vigor. So i-develop mo na yon. You will now nurture that variety with the best, kasi magsisegregate na yan later. So mamamatay na yung mga susunod na offspring yan. But we can continue nurturing this so that it will evolve for a better model. Tuloy-tuloy yan. So papasok naman yung DNA, Ano ang structure ng DNA? It's helical. Pataas. Sa akin, yung helical na yung pataas, ibig sabihin, you continue to develop and you continue to improve. Hindi naman siya helical na pababa, hindi man pa ganun. Ang helical niya pataas na ganyan, di ba? So that's what I hope to see in this program. We have this now, and yes, thank you, Fed team. You know, Dincha is very proud of her team. She always says that na, sabi niya, hindi ko naman ito magagawang mag-isa. Mas excited pa nga sila kaysa akin eh. May mga ganyan siyang sinasabi. And ako, I also recognize that because I also believe in teamwork. And that's what you have at the Faculty of Education. So, ako, I encourage you to do that. Kayo din mismo, individual faculty, individual staff, have your own. Think of something. And I know Dincha will also be receptive to good ideas, which you can implement as part of the Fed team and as member of the UPOU community. So again, we will not stop here. We will not stop with the launching. Ayokong ganun din yung mangyari na pagkatapos ng launching ay wala na. Yun din na sinasabi ko every time na magmo-MOA MOU signing tayo. Sabi ko, lagyan nyo naman ng activity immediately after. Ayoko nung hanggang dito lang tayo at pagkatapos nun ay gugunitain na lang natin na tayo ay nag-launching. We really want some concrete programs, some concrete actions. In fact, nauna na nga yung concrete actions natin eh. Diba? Nagpunta na tayo sa BJMP and negotiations, I know, discussions are now ongoing for the other components of this particular project, Pagtulay. So again, I will still be here naman to see whatever results ang lalabas dito sa proyekto na to. But right now, given the commitment of the leadership, given the commitment of the Fed team, I am confident na marami tayong magagawang maganda mula dito sa proyektong ito. And again, I may no longer be the chancellor when that happens. Idea pa nga lang, very proud na ako, kinukwento ko na eh. What more, kung nakikita na natin yung bunga nitong ating mga proyektong isinasagawa. Before, I always say, I am a proud chancellor of UPOU. Sasabihin ko pa rin yon. I am a very proud chancellor of UPOU at the time that I was chancellor. Pero hindi, I mean, kasi ganun pa rin, di ba? You'll always be proud that you've been part of UPOU and somehow you were able to contribute to whatever itong mga outcomes ng ginagawa natin. We will always be proud of it and I will always say that again and again. So muli, congratulations sa inyo. Let's hope for the best. Ano lang yan, tulong-tulong lang tayo. Oo, hindi pwedeng iisa. Kailangan lang tayo tulong-tulong. Let's look or journey towards that vision that we have in mind. So thank you. Congratulations. Magandang umaga sa ating lahat.
Thank you for your wisdom, Chancellor. I will need you to stay behind the podium a bit and have Dinsha join you for the official launch of hindi aside from your wisdom, yes po. Okay. Wait, may cue. Please press the magic button in 3, 2, 1. Ulit ba? Sabi ko 15. Isa lang.
Ayaw pa rin. Ikaw na lang. Ayun.
Ayan, totoo na. Totoo na to. Na-launch na natin. But before Dinsha elaborate on the flagship, the details and the sub-programs of Pagtulay, I would like to call her to give a token of our appreciation for the wisdom, the consistent guidance and support of our guest of honor, Chancellor Mel Bandalaria. As promised.
Maraming po salamat, Chancellor. Chemist that I am, sinabi niya yung wrong word, double helix of a DNA. If you know chemistry well, it's a double helix for two reasons. There are two structures. So, very important kasi yung analogy for the double helix. There are usually components that interact. Pero ang hindi natin alam, the reason why it goes up and it goes helical is that there's an intermolecular forces of attraction. So the line of the helix, for helix 1, and then the other one, may mga molecules yung sa gitna and then they had to interact para umikot. So imagine tension building synchronously and synergistically so that they form a perfect double helix. The wisdom from that is that there are several components towards one mission from from bottom to top. And then there are interactions in between so that we get a full DNA that defines. Opo, ma'am, na-realize ko lang yung kanina, hindi pwedeng isa lang, hindi nabubuo ang DNA with just one helical component, there has to be two. And then there has to be interaction so that the two helical structures will be pulling one another. Kailangan yun, ang tawag din intermolecular forces of attraction. So, very important yun so that they build a helix that defines the characteristics of any species, which is basically the DNA. And from that, actually, this launching is not only a homage to the Chancellor for all her contributions to FED in the past 8 years, but also our attribution for the former leaderships of FED. Gusto ko lang banggitin I always say that I'm not here without the shoulders of the giant. The reason why I'm seeing the future or farther ahead is because I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. Former deans of FED, Dean Nema, Aurora Fe Bautista, Dean Nema H. Hermosa, Dean Maria Teresa de Villa, former Dean and currently Dean of UP Tacloban, Patricia Arinto, and Dean Ricardo Bagarinao. They have been instrumental in making sure we get here. Because if they did not lay down the bridges and pathways, there's no Pagtulay. Pagtulay is a, Pagtulay is a gerund term. So Pagtulay, which in English means bridging. It's not bridging, it's not bridges and pathways. It's bridging, it's the act of crossing over. And at first, the program was just ano ba yung magiging contribution namin sa SDG? Kasi parang lahat ng tao nag-usap sa SDG. Pero parang feeling ko, despite the fact that we are actually trying to cover, I think, 7 of the SDGs here, yan yung mga currently ginagawa na natin, we need a program that actually grasp or encompasses all of our efforts. Because FED is not doing anything. FED has been doing a lot. But we wanted to put or to brand the program such that we know what our mission is. So Pagtulay, in English is bridging, we really chose the gerund term as we want to emphasize the act of crossing over. In architecture and engineering, a bridge is a spanning structure that creates passage over a depression or an obstacle. It actually serves a connection or a transition. When we were thinking of a logo, very simple-minded mama ko. Wala akong imagination. As in, I have a very dry, creative talent. Wala po ako niyan. So what I did was to ask my colleagues. And then, all the while, I was just thinking about this kind of bridge. But my members were actually thinking of a different kind of bridge. Yes, and it was poetic. I think the discussion then was very poetic because when we look at the definition of a bridge in music, it's actually a musical passage that connects two sections of music or song or lyrics. Um, it's a section in music that builds tension, that may function as a transition, and they add variety. So often, a bridge is also used as a contrast section that prepares for return of the original piece and original material sections such as a verse or a chorus. And finally, we looked at the purpose of a bridge. It's actually to break the monotony in a song or in music and actually to keep the listeners interested in the song or music. So parang sabi ko, okay, we don't need to argue. The poetic meaning of bridge in music actually applies to what we really wanted to achieve with Pagtulay. So Pagtulay stands for pagpapalawig ng mga oportunidad sa edukasyon para sa Pilipino, which is a direct translation of inclusive educational opportunities for the Filipino people. We aim to widen access to education among Filipino communities. It's the same mission we had for FED for the longest time. It's actually promoting education for all through the open distance e-learning. But we wanted to articulate it. Because when you articulate something, you are convinced of doing that. You are also making it a mission for yourself to achieve or contribute towards the achievement of the goal. By promoting inclusive educational opportunities, we aim to empower the Filipino people in marginalized communities by bridging gaps that prevent them from accessing quality education. Our objectives are the following. There are 5 clear objectives. Sabi kasi sa outcomes-based education, kailangan measurable. So dapat isulat mo ang outcomes such that at the end of the implementation period, we have something to quantify. So number 1, we want to have expanded professional development programs for educators, including our continuing education courses and micro-credentials with a clear path toward macro-credentials. We are very particular with this objective because the current education system requires our teachers to provide proof of their continuing professional development. So kailangan may proof, kaya kailangan din meron din kaming dapat ipakita na clear path. We also would like to have some members of the prison communities, including persons deprived of liberties and jail officers, enrolled in our undergraduate and graduate programs. Maliwanag yun for us na hindi lang ito persons deprived of liberty, but also people they interact within the prison community. We also hope that some students from far IP communities are enrolled in UPOU's undergraduate and graduate program. We also hope that there will be an enhanced barangay level early education program. And finally, we hope that we play an active role in community engagement towards the enhancement of numeracy, literacy, and STEM education in the Philippines. Medyo ambitious for a 3-year program. Tama ba? I mean, for a 3-year program, sa ngayon ay 1.5 na lang ang natitira sa akin. Pero at least, we have something to look forward to even if the 3-year term ends in 2026. There are 5 sub-programs to make sure that we address all of those goals. Kung makikita nyo, each sub-program is aligned for each goal. Ang binanggit ni Chancellor kanina is sub-program 2 and sub-program 3, but actually we also are very clear in terms of our goals for sub-program 1, that's fostering skills and continuing professional development through micro-learning opportunities. Sub-program 4, developing transformative academic programs and public service initiatives for the promotion of early childhood education at the barangay level. And lastly, promoting numeracy, literacy, and STEAM education through active engagement with the community. The first sub-program actually focuses on the goal of the education for the 21st century. The current EDCOM 2 report, assignment po ito ng mga faculty ko sa FED. Basahin po. Yes, ma'am. Kailangan basahin nila yung makapal na report ng EDCOM, pero hindi ko po alam kung nabasa na po nila lahat. But the EDCOM report highlights the current requirement for the promotion of continuing professional development to serve the gaps in the education community, because we cannot simply send teachers to school. So we have to provide opportunities for them to get that continuing professional education opportunity despite the fact that they are still in service. So kailangan tumulong tayo doon. We aim for the promotion of the foundational skills, that is literacy and numeracy. By literacy, it's not just reading but also scientific literacy, by the way. But they should be founded in literacy. And then we also hope that we are developing among our students or learners the 21st century skills. Because employers right now are really vocal about the need to fill in the gap in the labor market in terms of these skills. Parang sabi nila, yes, talented cognitively, but actually poor in terms of other skills that are required for employment. So we are looking at our academic programs. These are not just simply non-academic but also academic programs that we hope would translate these requirements. Our mission for the first sub-program is that there is equitable professional development opportunities for educators in all sectors. So hindi lang ito basic ed na gusto namin targetin yung DepEd. Hindi po. We are hoping that we are also targeting higher education teachers and facilitators of learning in the postgraduate level. We are also targeting teachers or child development center implementers at the barangay level. But of course, kasama pa rin dyan yung basic ed if we are able to do so. So we hope that our professional development programs would be able to provide educators wider access to quality and relevant professional development programs to address what the EDCOM 2 has reported in their findings. We hope also to reduce the constraints to gaining professional development. We have several PD programs across the country. But the question of whether our teachers are able to access them is still a question of equity. So we are hoping that our platform at UPOU would actually allow them to gain access to these programs that they need as professionals. So right now, limited list lang po ito. Hindi po to updated. So mamaya tawag mo akong tingnan kung kulang yung listahan na yan. Pero hindi po yan updated. Right now, we have our Faculty of Education, continuing education programs that will fall under this goal. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina that actually the things that I'm listing here, not all of those are new. These are existing ones that we're trying to put into one blanket program so people would identify to them more easily, and that FED will be known for them. So itong FED Continuing Education Program has been here for quite some time. So they've already had several offerings, at least in the last 18 months, several cycles of offering, and we continue to improve and add to this list. As a scientist, this is my dilemma. Typically, we don't have time to go to all of these CPD opportunities. So we are hoping to capitalize on the trend, hindi man trend lang, pero capitalize on the opportunities for micro-learning. We hope to provide skills-based learning opportunities for people who want to upgrade their workplace skills quickly. So that small time, huge impact. Ganun yung gusto naming mangyari, hopefully. We hope to also deliver on-demand on-demand programs, courses such as short courses, pwede ding micro-courses yung mga yan. Anything that we can make available to education professionals when they need them at the time, places, and spaces that actually work for them. So we are not insisting on a classroom-based. We're actually looking into the platform of ODEL to allow them more flexible opportunities. Either it's micro-credentials or if ever we call them alternative digital credentials, it doesn't matter. What we want is a credential at the end of every program and a possible opportunity for pursuing graduate programs in the future. This one is a personal agenda. So gusto ko sana talagang mag-promote ng STEAM. And I am really looking forward to the framework that have been developed by the Fed CEP and capitalize on the learning gains they have gathered in the past years so that we can develop the following. We hope to promote non-stackable micro-credentials micro-credential courses for science and mathematics educators in the Philippines to promote not only the science part or the STEM part, but also to promote the Filipino part of the science in this agenda. So merong Filipino aspect yan. Kaya ang gusto sana namin in one course, Filipino Inventions and Discoveries. The other course is Introduction to Philippine Biodiversity. Although there are several courses in Philippine Biodiversity, we wanted to highlight what we actually have within our community. And the third one is Indigenous People's Knowledge of Science and Mathematics. The other developed countries have actually been very aggressive towards documenting indigenous people's knowledge in science and math, and sa Pilipinas hindi pa po yan ganun ka strong na idea. So hindi pa siya ganun ka-pronounced na idea. So we wanted to also place FED in this agenda. And lastly, we would also like to promote teaching science and mathematics in the Philippines, because we typically have knowledge based from Western side. Not that we don't like them or we argue or we contrast with them, but actually wanted to see what it is that is unique for the Filipino learners. And we wanted to take part in making sure those learnings are documented. So, yan. The second aspect is actually for STEAM teaching. Ito yung stackable naman. Gusto sana naming ma-integrate ang mga to towards a Diploma in Science Teaching program. So if students will take bits and pieces of these courses, they might get credentials for the Diploma in Science Teaching, which might help their professional development. So hindi lang siya micro courses, but we look forward towards stacking it towards the a formal accreditation in terms of the Diploma in Science Teaching program. That's just the first sub-program, and we have 4 more. Sorry. And then the second sub-program is the one that we've actually had so many activities in. Kasama dito yung aming the most recent activity in MOA signing at the Bureau of Jail and Management and Penology, Jail Management and Penology at Regional Office 3, because we believe that education is for all. It's not just because the UN declared it in their Universal Declaration of Human Rights, wherein education is a fundamental human right, but actually the right to education is actually a right to lifelong learning, to which we subscribe. So hindi ito dahil sinabi lang ng UN, pero dahil kung pwede tayong mag-aral anytime, then anyone should be able to get there. We believe that the mission of sub-program 2 is to promote transformative higher education for all. We hope that there's a program that actually provides better opportunities for PDLs to broaden their knowledge and acquire new skills that will facilitate their transition to the community, their reintegration into society, including the labor market. So we hope that when they complete a higher education, when they complete higher education, they will have better opportunities when they go out to the community. Then they don't need to go back to their old ways. And that will actually help create a safer community for everyone. We hope that a higher education program would also make the right to education a reality for all by paying attention to the marginalized and vulnerable groups, such as that of the jail facility. We hope that the ODAL framework would actually be an advantageous platform for us. Marami kayong nabalitaan recently sa news that other institutions are also doing the same. And I admire them for sharing the advocacy. What we can offer at UPOU is that to transform the academic program into the ODAL platform so that we can reach to more institutions. This is just the FED, no more, right? And if we want to gain a wider impact for these programs, then we have to work smarter. Work smarter, not necessarily harder, but work smarter. So if we want to deliver all of these goals for our fellow Filipinos in the jail facility, then we have to work smarter with our partners. So example, we have requested the BJMP to help us deliver the program by some negotiations with the time, with the facilities, and they've been very positive about it and very welcoming of the idea. In fact, they have actually committed to provide all the necessary requirements for each PDL so that they can be given the opportunity to enroll at UPOU. We believe that it's not a simple partnering with them. So we also would like to acknowledge our partnership with, say, for example, Pampanga State Agricultural University. They are going to assist us to achieve the mission by helping, by making sure that their programs are also ready for ODEL delivery. So hindi lang ito kami lang ng BJMP, but actually PSAU has committed to developing their programs so that it's not just our programs that will be delivered, but also their programs. Any institution transitioning to online learning or distance education, it's not an easy task to do, but PSAU has committed, PSAU has committed to provide every resource available for their institution so that they can deliver their programs in the same way as we do for UPOU. So we acknowledge that commitment. Alongside that goal, we also hope that our fellow Filipinos at the indigenous peoples community, they will not need to be uprooted from their community. That's the idea. So we wanted for us, for our programs to get to their community, not that they go to get to the institution. They don't need to be uprooted from their community just to get higher education. There should not be the need for that choice. And if there is no choice available for them, UPOU should be there to provide that choice for them. Ang lagi kong sinasabi, UPOU, given its mandate and given its affordances, there should be no bounds to where it is able to reach. So yung hindi mararating ng typical residential campuses, UPOU dapat yung nakakarating doon. So we are hoping to reach the not only the indigenous peoples community, but other communities that are far from higher education institutions, so that the learners will no longer have to choose between family and well-being and higher education. Dapat wala yung choice na yan. Dapat hindi ka kailanganing mamili ng learner between their well-being, being part of a community, and their achievement of their educational goals. OU should be there to give that opportunity. Ang pangarap ko talaga, magkaroon ng isang teacher bawat isang community. So dalawa, medyo, so siguro, tataas natin yung goal na dalawa. Pero pangarap ko po talaga yon, magkaroon ng isang teacher bawat isang community. Hindi dapat natin kailangan maglagay ng teachers sa kung saan community. Dapat ng teacher nanggagaling sa community na. Kung makakatulong kami sa pagkakaroon ng isang guro sa isang community, kahit malayo pa ito sa kahit anong teacher education institution, yun yung goal na gusto ko sanang i-contribute namin. We have a Bachelor of Education Studies that promotes community education and alternative education. This is the appropriate program for such goal, and that's our hope. We hope that an educator will come from within the IP community na. Hindi namin sila kailangan tanggalin doon. Kami na yung magdadala sa kanila ng programa para pwede silang magturo doon. Hindi na kailangan umalis ng mga learners sa kanilang communities. They can also learn within their community. That's the idea. We also hope that an educator from an IP community would bear and transmit the learnings from within the community, their knowledge and skills just within the community. They don't need to go out. They can if they need to, or if they want to, they can. Nobody prohibits them. That should be the case. But if in case they cannot move for whatever reason, it shouldn't be a limitation to their educational goals. We also hope to produce educators that will be dedicated to providing the same educational opportunities for their fellow members in the community. So, kumbaga, kaya nga at least one, mami. So kung dalawa, edi sige mo. One teacher and then magpo-produce siya ng another teacher. Sige. The fourth sub-program is actually, we are also very excited about this. We hope to transform our academic programs and public service initiatives for the promotion of early childhood education at the barangay level. If you look at the situation on the ground, we have a very, mali pala yung very strong, but we have initiatives for early childhood development. Hindi ko po pwedeng sabihin wala. Meron po. Meron tayong maraming initiatives for early childhood development. But I wanted to contribute in the early childhood education part. Because I believe if we develop the literacy at an early age prior to basic education, we are helping alleviate the concerns of the basic education. The stresses in the basic education for K to 12, masyado siyang mahaba, masyadong mabigat. Kasi kakaunti yung nagtatrabaho dun sa pre-K to 12. So we are looking at that opportunity to contribute to the easement of the tensions in the K to 12, not contributing to the K to 12 directly, but actually making initiatives pre-kinder. May dalawa kaming very specific goal, and that is to develop professional early childhood education certification program equivalent to 18 units for those who have already completed a bachelor's program. And then another one is the institution of either or and associate in and Master of Arts in early childhood education. We believe that learning begins at early childhood, hindi sa kinder. Sisimula yan, early childhood, meron na. So FED hopes to develop a curricular offering that bridges the gaps in implementing early childhood curriculum. We hope to capitalize on RA 10931, which is the universal access to quality tertiary education or free tuition, to promote the professionalization of early childhood implementers at the barangay level, especially those who haven't completed their undergrads yet. For first and second class municipalities, wala tayong masyadong problem, I guess, because there are professionals, not necessarily early childhood experts at the barangay level. Pero pagdating sa third, fourth, and fifth class municipalities kasi, mataas pa rin yung pangangailangan natin for helping our child development center implementers to get an undergraduate degree. So kung free naman yung tuition at may opportunity naman yung mga implementers, we are hoping they would be able to get into our program so that we promote early childhood education. In the end, we hope that there will be professionals in each of the child development center with appropriate skills and knowledge to promote early childhood learning. And lastly, the fun part of it all is the sub-program 5 is actually promoting numeracy, literacy, and STEAM education through active engagement in the community. We have actually initiated the Paglinang project last year. It is yet to take off, and we are waiting for some of the other developments. But we hope that the Paglinang project, which means pagpapaunlad ng pagbasa at pagbilang, would eventually progress consistently. We hope to institute mobile reading nooks and numeracy corners in our basic education schools. So, isa yan sa mga gusto naming maging successful. Also, we have the Pagkasa project. Pagkasa means pagtataguyod ng kalinangan sa agham at sining. Kasi my science mind is devoid of artistic mind, so I feel like one would appreciate science more if they have the creative aspirations for the beautiful science that is. So we hope to promote arts in science camps among our high school students. And we are unable to do any of these two without the collaborative engagement with basic education, special science education, and higher education institutions that also promote quality numeracy, literacy, and STEAM education programs. My mission, personal mission here is that every child should be a dreamer. So every child a dreamer is actually the mission. So our FED public service engagements would hope that literacy will be promoted both in science and in reading, and that numeracy among learners will be enhanced. Ang idea kasi is that science or STEM in general can be facilitated through literacy. So if a student doesn't know how to read, they will not be able to do counting. They will not be able to read science or to enjoy science. So we begin with literacy. And that's going to be our approach. Scientist po ako, pero naniniwala ko na ang lahat ay nagsisimula sa reading. So, yan yung gusto sana naming i-promote in the future. Right now, our current initiatives are with Philippine Science High School System. It's a mutual partnership between PSI. They have committed to partner with us in our mobile science and mathematics fair at UPOU and at PSI regional campuses, which is ideal because they have 16 across the country. And then if we go from one campus to another, we are already targeting major regions in the Philippines. So we are very happy to have initial affirmative response from them. We are also partnering with the Science Education Institute STEM Innovations Division, especially in promoting early childhood interest in STEM. If you don't know, they have actually published 40 plus books, children's books in science and mathematics in partnership with UP Child Development Center. So we have actually requested for them to partner with us in terms of book donation. So all of these children's books, they will produce for us and they will give us for free. And they will also conduct storytelling sessions so that students will know how to enjoy the books. And also, sa part ng FED, we hope to develop curriculum integration workshops for these books so that teachers would know how to use the books sustainably within their classrooms. Lastly, our most recent confirmation that the Los Baños Science Community Foundation Incorporated is very happy to partner with UPOU and with FED for this particular initiative. Our goal is to make UPOU a destination for STEM education in this region. Medyo malaking ambition yan for UPOU and for Faculty of Education. Isa lang po ang aming chemist, isang physicist, may ilang kaming mathematicians, may ilang kaming biologists, may nanghihiram kami ng computer science sa kabilang faculty, computer scientist sa kabilang faculty. Manghihiram kami ng ibang technology experts sa ibang institutions, but in any case, we want UPOU to be at the heart of this initiative so that we become a STEM education destination in this region. All of these things, we hope we can gain some successes. If not all, at least there's a vision that's waiting for us at the end of 2026. And we hope to evaluate whatever actions and whatever gains we have through the OECD DAC Network on Development evaluation. Many of the aspirations that we have, typically, aspirations lang siya. Pero ako iniisip ko, hindi, kailangan natin i-evaluate kung sustainable ba. So we stop in 2026 and evaluate and then move forward based on what we learn from all of these programs. With that, marami pong salamat. Yeah. If there are any questions, interest, partnerships. Apo. So kung wala pong questions, nandito lang po, bukas ang FED para makipag-ugnayan kayo kung gusto niyo pong pumartner. Kung may naiisip kayong iba pang programa, sabihin niyo sa amin. Yung 5 sub-programs na yan, hindi po yan limiting. We have listed only 5 up to this point because the body is willing, the mind is willing, the body is limiting. So, but in any case, we trust that the Faculty of Education will be able to accommodate more sub-programs in the future, and all of its initiatives will be aligned with any of these sub-programs para iisa yung tutunguhin ng ating mission. Marami pong salamat.
Thank you, Dean Cha, for a very detailed presentation of the 5 sub-programs. Now that we know more about Pagtulay, we'd like to share with you the messages from our partners in making at least one of the sub-programs a reality. Let us hear from the representatives of the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology, or BJMP, Region 3, and Pampanga State Agricultural University, specifically from Jail Superintendent Edmund L. Lamanzares of Guagua District Jail, and Dr. Anita G. David, the current president of PSAU.
Ngayong araw po sa ating lahat. Jail Superintendent Edmund L. Lamanzares po, ang warden ng Guagua District Jail Dormitory. At ikinagagala ko pong ipahayag na ang Guagua District Jail ay isa sa mga napiling benepisyaryo ng Pagtulay Project ng University of the Philippines Open University. Ang proyekto pong ito ay formal ng simulan sa pamagitan ng isang Memorandum of Agreement na nilagdaan sa pagitan ng BJMP Regional Office 3 at ng University of the Philippines noong October 7, 2024 sa Guagua District Jail. Buong puso po kami naniniwala na sa pamagitan ng proyektong ito, mabibigyan ang mga person deprived of liberty ng mahalagang oportunidad na makapag-aral at mapagunlad ang kanilang mga kasanayan sa pamamagitan ng open at distance learning. Naninindigan po kami na ang edukasyong ito ay magiging tulay tungo sa mas maliwanag na kinabukasan ng mga PDL sa kanilang pagbalik sa lipunan. Muli, bilang pinuno ng piitang ito, buong puso po ako nagpapasalamat sa oportunidad na pinagkaloob ng University of the Philippines Open University. Kaagapay niyo kami sa inyong mga programa. Maraming salamat po.
So, hindi ako lip reader, so I think they were having a technical difficulty playing the message from the current president of PSAU. So, oh, she's a graduate of what? Do we know what program? Ah, DMT. So math. Earlier you were saying, Dinsha, regarding we have a lot of math, and you were enumerating the expertise, the fields of the members of the Faculty of Education, and you were wondering, paano naman kami? I mean, the arts and humanities and language and communication people. So, eto lang. Yung contribution, ganun ba? Later on, we'll have the person who will deliver the closing remarks will be additional proof of that, although science din siya. Masyado pong mahaba, I think, yung message ni President ng PSAU. Or in a different language, and we're trying to translate ba? Ako na lang mag-translate. Opo. Okay. While we're trying to figure out the technical reasons, no, and trying to address the difficulties, we'd like to acknowledge kasi dumami yung members of our current CAC members, no. We have here our current university registrar. Hindi ko alam kung mazoom natin. Si Assistant Professor Luisa Elisani, hindi biglang cue. Si Ma'am Lisa. And then we have the director of our OPA, Office of Public Affairs, who have been working with us rin, making sure na this launch is a success. We have the deputy directors of the Center of Open and Digital Teaching and Learning, Associate Professor Roberto Figueroa, somewhere over there. And then we have Dr. J. Aleta Villanueva as well. So, a few members of our CEC, and I'm sure may mga nag-watch kasi we've been receiving chat messages. rin, no, of congratulations. So now ready na si Madam. Tapos na yung adlib ko.
Chancellor Melinda Chancellor Melinda Bandalaria, Dean Cherise Reyes, and to the whole UPOU family, blissful morning to everyone. Pampanga State Agricultural University congratulates the UPOU for the Pagtulay program. These would really help the PDLs of Guagua District Jail, and it would be a good preparation for their future. We are also fortunate to have this partnership with you, and we are looking forward to having more dealings with you through this Pagtulay project. Indeed, it is a privilege for Pampanga State Agricultural University to have this program with you. Congratulations to everyone, and may this make our lives more fruitful and meaningful. Mabuhay po kayong lahat. Mabuhay po ang UPOU. Maraming
O, si mahaba. Okay, with all things said, we look forward to your support and participation in our Pagtulay endeavor in any of the sub-programs. If you want to collaborate, no, feel free to discuss with us in Din Chat. Now, for the closing remarks, let us hear from Dr. Aurora Lacaste, the current A2VC for Instruction of our Office of the Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, to formally, in a way, close the program.
Good morning po sa lahat. To our Chancellor, Mel Bandalaria, Dean Cha Reyes, distinguished guests, faculty members, especially of my Faculty of Education, students and all our partners joining us on-site and online. Good morning po. It is with hope and gratitude that we close today's program launch of Pagtulay, a groundbreaking initiative of the Faculty of Education. So we have seen in the presentations the exciting lineup of sub-programs that we are to see in the months and years to come. The discussions and presentations today have shown the importance of this program in addressing the needs of our private and public stakeholders, particularly those who are often unseen and unheard in our society. Kasama po dyan, the indigenous peoples, the persons deprived of liberty, and other groups. Pagtulay is not just a bridge of service, but it is also a bridge of understanding, of compassion, of empowerment. These values that we also uphold at the UP Open University. As we move forward, may we all carry the spirit of collaboration, justice, and empathy that this program embodies. Let us work together in the pursuit of meaningful change, and let Pagtulay serve as an inspiration and a constant reminder for all of us of our shared responsibility to uplift the marginalized and reach those who have been historically underserved. To everyone at FED, from Dean Cha, to the faculty and staff, to the partners, to the leadership of UPOU, who has contributed to this vision and made today's launch a success, thank you. We're excited to witness the positive impact that Pagtulay will have in the coming months and years. With that, we formally conclude today's event, and we look forward to the incredible journey ahead of us. Thank you, and may we all walk together on this path of service. Salamat po.
Thank you, Doc Al. Hindi ka pa ready ng lagay na yan. For the closing, to those of you who joined us online and here on site, thank you very much for your time and your interest. That concludes our program. Have a great day ahead. Thank you.